Here are my trades for Wednesday, April 16th. Had a small green day today. Took one trade before pre-market, pretty much break even. Nothing too exciting. Starting today at 9:31. The first stock was STBX. Had a really low float, 531,000 shares or something like that. No news today, but had a reverse split in the last couple days, I'm pretty sure. Like April 14th or something. Lower volume, 146,000 shares, but a super low float is the biggest thing I liked about this. The MACD is good. It's just coming up here this morning. This is a minute and a half after the market opens. Coming up on lower volume. Seems to be holding up. I get in at 227 up here. Lots of green on the tape. I get in right there. Green on the tape. You know, VWAP's at 206, so definitely a stop before that. I have a hotkey to stop 15 cents below the ask whenever I hit it, so I usually buy, and then I'll quickly put a live stop in order here, 15 cents below at 212, which is a little bit low for this. You probably want to get out before then. Luckily, I don't have to use it. It does continue to go upwards. It's not moving super quick. It's just too low volume and no news, so it makes you nervous. I take half I sell half for profit at 249, about 22 cents, and it breaks a little higher up to 250. When it doesn't go right into that halt, I get a little bit nervous and I just sell the rest here, thinking there might be a rejection. There's no news and it's low volume. So 22 cents a profit there, 55 bucks, nothing too exciting. Then it does go into the halt. But I'd be nervous even holding into this halt up with no news and such low volume. So it halts, opens at 9:32 and 13 seconds, in 4 seconds here. It's showing a 260 resumption. So there it opens straight up to 271. Nowhere I would feel comfortable getting in here as it continues upward. There's no setup here. Big seller there on the bid, 26,000 shares at 276. Seeing that, you would be nervous to get in. Another big seller at 270. Sellers are starting to come out that this thing's up a little bit on no news. So it does buy up that seller. If you were into taking more risk than I am, you could have bought as that seller was getting taken out there. So you can see it goes down 20 to 19 to 16, 12, 8, 4, and breaks by like 25 cents. That's a crazy break, actually. Just for a second, though. Like, you wouldn't have got out at 295. So you could have had a trade there if you were quick. More big sellers coming out at 271. Topping tail there on the 1 minute and the 5. Looking bullish or bearish at this point. I just skipped a video ahead here about 5 minutes. Right there was that 295 high that we just hit. Then it comes back down, hits a low of 230, comes back up. The first candle will make a new high is at about 260. I never took that because of the topping tail on the 5. That candle is horrific, and the topping tail on this candle here makes you a little bit nervous. But if you did get in at 260, it would have broke up to 275 and you could have got out with some profit. Then it, breaks higher up to 3. I'm sitting here watching the break of 3. It's kind of bouncing off. Green on the tape, and just hesitated there for a second. This thing, when it breaks, it takes a second, then it makes a huge jump, like 12 cents, but in one single move there, but then rejects right off of that, right back down under 3. Topping tail, red candle forming. You would have to be really quick to get out of that with Profit, excuse me. I keep watching it here. There's a bigger seller at 305 there. There's a big seller. See if it does it again. That 18, 17, 14 breaks back below 3 again. It's not holding 3. That's another kind of bearish characteristic for it. But then it breaks right back up again. Some green on the tape. Wonder if that seller will still be there at 305. 305. 302. See, and it broke right through 305 for a second there. I rewound it a little bit. There's the break 310, some of the big sellers. There's that seller at 305. Back below 3. So there it's coming back up. Don't see that seller at 305. Some sellers at 308. Breaks through them fairly easy. 310. Break of 310 could be a buy. It's not breaking through some bigger sellers. There's the break of 310 up to 325. That would have been a possible trade. But it's just, this thing's up fairly high after one halt. Doesn't have news. It's got volume now. You'd be more comfortable taking that trade. I probably could have took that trade. 330. 344. Breaks up to there. Big seller at 335. Pretty sure that's as high as it goes. Sellers start coming in now, and this thing rolls over at least for a bit. So yeah, the trade would have been the break of 3 or the break of 310. Yeah, see, there's the topping tail forming, rejecting big sellers coming in. MACD's still open. Volume profile's alright, but this candle's going to screw up the pattern. How's this candle going to close? Bit of a topping tail, not as bad as it was. But I'm pretty sure from here it just goes downwards. I don't take any more trades on it. Just not a real clean setup. No news, lower volume off the start. A lot of big sellers, a lot of rejections after breakouts. Wasn't easy trading for me anyways. All right, we're getting the gist of this one. I don't think anything else happens. Yeah, now we get on to the next one, WIMI. This is maybe the bigger mover of the day. It's up 28%. Had a decent float. I think it was like 10 million or something. I kind of forget. I wasn't watching it. Like the break of that 470 candle or 477 right there would have been a nice trade. I wasn't watching it at the time. It's up into the halt, showing a not very much volume, 236,000 shares, showing a dollar gap up. That's a big deal. It's going to open at 10:59.49, so in about 5 seconds here. Takes a couple seconds extra. Then it opens. Weird that it has this. It opens with this big flash down. Doesn't show. Oh yeah, it did. It did. Right at the start, there was some selling. Went down to 550 or better, but quickly popped back up. So when you see that big bottoming tail, it kind of made me nervous for a second. Like break of this 1 minute candle's almost done in 5 seconds. Like the break of 613 probably would have been an in, or 617 here. 617 breaks. You could have got in there. How would you have done? 628. Could have got 10 cents. Sold half there. Watching your stop around 617. You would have stopped out and been a small losing or a break-even trade. Then look at that. Look at that giant flush down. See, that's where you start seeing wicks like this. It just, you don't know what to do. After that big wick up, it was looking bullish, but then a little bit of red flashing on the tape there. Looks like it's going to break 6. Goes from in 1 second. I did it again. rewind it. It does continue to go higher. I just wanted to see that flash down on that candle. See, that's where we were before. And it's looking decent. Then you see some red, a good flash of red on the tape there. It looks like it's coming down to 6. And in 1 second, it's at 6:04. Then it's at 5:51. Yeah, it prints 606.9 to 552. That's just a big seller, a big hidden seller coming in, I guess. But it quickly gets bought up, straight back to 595. Could have got in on a dip, maybe right about there. There's some green on the tape. Yeah, that would have been a good dip right there, about 575, 580. To break back through 6 here. So it's back above 6, seeing some green on the tape. 628 high. Could have got in for that high, but that's risky. It just flashed down so much, and there it goes again, back to 6. It's just hard to trade. High red volume. 1 minute candle forming. Depends how it closes, red or green, but it's a doji either way. High red volume on the 5. Flashes down again. Possible dip. All these dips seem to get bought up. Could have got in at 575 to 580. But it's risky. It's going to go lower. Oh, holds 574. Seems to support a 574. There must be a big hidden buyer there. High of this candle is 6. So you're just watching it. There it's back through 6. 612. Holding 6. It's going to hold 6. There's green on the tape. Probably could be a buy right in here. Some sellers, but there's lots of green on the tape pushing through it. Up to 640. So the high is 640 of that last candle. That could be a possible aggressive entry. What the candles look like? You still got higher red on that, or higher volume on that red candle. Wicks on the big bottoming wicks on the 5, but it still makes you nervous. 640 breaks through. Could have been a buy there. Back to 625. You probably would have stopped out. 642 is the number to break. Yeah, just goes to 645 for a second. Like, it's not clean breaks up here. That was a cleaner break through 650. You could have got in at like 648. Right there, as you can see it holding. You can see a bunch of green at 649, 648, and then all of a sudden it's at 658. Not easy to get in. Straight up into the halt at 6, or not straight up, comes back, holds 50. That could have been a buy. Flashes below 50 for a second, but then straight up to the halt. Halts up again. It's going to open up right away here. So it's halted at 667, showing a 677 resumption. There's still high red volume on that candle previous, but higher green volume coming up there now. Probably take a chance here. So it opens moves up to 688 to 690. Comes back down for a second. So here's where you don't know. Is it going to flush and reject? And is 690 just a high there? Coming up to a resistance level of 7. You just don't know. Does it go lower? 67 lots, see down to 647. You would think it's almost done here. It's probably just going to flush down to the hold down. 630s. But then it does it again, starts coming back up, that bottoming tail, no green. There's starting to be green on the tape. Lower again, almost down to the halt level. Hits a low of 611. Even lower there, 610. Even lower there, 607. It's right at the halt level. But it does it again. It doesn't halt here. You're starting to see green on the tape. Bottoming tail starting to form. It's coming back up. If you were riskier than I am, you could have bought for the break of 650. You could have bought right in there. Green on the tape, bottoming tail. Kind of bounces around. All of a sudden, though, if you would have bought for the break of 650, you're up at 674. Look at that bottoming tail. That's looking pretty bullish all of a sudden. 687. Now you're getting, all of a sudden, you just thought it was going to halt down. It's breaking through the high. It's going to break through the high again, or has already. Instantly breaks 7. Could have took a little, it would have been probably the break of, like right around in here, when you start seeing that green, that would have been a buy in hindsight. Instantly through 7 to 708, big seller at 708. Can it take that seller out? It does. Up into the halt level 715, but it doesn't halt here. That would be the third halt up. Also, trying to trade up here, you're through, or you're after 2 halts. Like, this is risky up here. That big bottoming tail. I take a dip down here. It's that big bottoming tail is the only reason I did it. Breaks, doesn't hold 7 there, but you see green quickly come back on the tape. Popping back up again. A little bit lower this time. Into the 70s. And because there's that bottoming tail in the candle and this thing keeps getting bought up, there are buyers as it goes lower. I decide to hop in here. I wish I would have gotten lower. Like it hits the low of this candle, 665. In the 70s or low 80s would have been much better. Comes up to 7 but doesn't break. I got my stop in at 684, 13-cent stop. Breaks 7, goes to 705. Goes to 705. There's coming up 705 again. Breaks through to 708, but comes back down again quickly. I just sell for that's only what, 9 cents a profit. $22. Nothing too exciting. And I'm pretty sure 715 is the high. Starts to break lower, or no, goes a little bit higher. I don't take that trade. It's too high up. It's after 2 halts. 5 minutes super extended, 1 minute's extended, big bottoming wicks, but it does reject sometimes. So after this, when it breaks back below 7, it's looking more bearish. Keeps going down. Goes back below 7. Can't break back above it here. And then it, breaking into the 60s. VWAP's at like 655. Looking for maybe a turnaround here, but there isn't that bottoming wick. Comes up a little bit into the 90s again, actually. MACD starting to close. Big topping tail on that candle through VWAP. By this point, if anyone's thinking a dip, this is not dip trade anymore. This is reversal. Breaks through the 30s, into the 20s, straight down to the halt down. And that's the end of that stock for today. So I just got one kind of poor trade on it. Wasn't very aggressive on it. Didn't have news. It didn't have news. It just had a reverse split in the past few days. Volume was coming in, but it's not crazy volume. It's only 4 million shares. I was just skeptical on it. It had been a slow day. Nothing crazy was moving. So after this, I quit. Only had a $83 day. Kind of gets back my loss from yesterday. It's been slow trading this week, not a whole lot of opportunity. That's all for today.